Byrnecast. 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 Hell yeah! Alright, welcome to the yeehaw! Alright, we got a Byrnecast.
Alright.
Number 7 is coming to you.
Number 14.
Byrnecast. Welcome to the Byrnecast. Welcome to the Byrnecast. Welcome to the Byrnecast. Hell yeah! Welcome to the Byrnecast.
We are at a turning point of humankind.
Turning point of humankind.
We should not underestimate the historical significance of the
This
situation.
guy's pronunciation is really, really bad.
Welcome to The Great Reset, a podcast from the World Economic Forum that looks at how we can rebuild
Okay, this is
a
the
cleanup.
Great Reset podcast. I've never listened to it before. Klaus Schwab. I am Klaus Schwab from the fatherland. So this is the head of the Economic Forum, a forum that we don't need. A bunch of posers, academic elite. Not speaking like much of an academic, speaking more like a politician, but a politician that's come out of Star Wars, the Emperor. I mean, he could be in the next Star Wars film if they had a new Emperor that looked like Humpty Dumpty. He looks like a cross between an evil Humpty Dumpty and the Emperor in Star Wars. That's who Klaus Schwab looks like. He's got a great voice for it. I mean, he would be a great casting in that, for the Star Wars people. He should get his ass onto IMDb. He's got a career there. Let's hear what else this freak has to say.
Fairer, smarter world after COVID-19.
This
This
is
week,
the,
Klaus Schwab, founder
this
and
is the
executive
BBC
chairman of the
man
Forum, published a book
speaking
which asks
with-
this big
it's
question.
great
What is
way.
the
It's a very
objective?
serious
What
subject.
kind of world do we want to build?
What kind
As
of
the
world
pandemic has highlighted our fraught relationship with the natural world,
we
a
want to
new
build?
report looks at how working with
What
rather
you
than
and your
against
evil
nature,
buddies.
we could make economic growth cleaner and greener and create millions of desperately needed jobs.
Cleaner and
It's
greener.
no longer profitability
So it's the whole
versus sustainability.
green
There's a
economy
very good reason
that is
why
an
this report
elitist,
is called the
type of
future
economy
nature and
that they
business,
want to
not
push
the future
onto
of
the
business
world,
or nature.
which is
Subscribe
not
to
really
The
about
Great Reset
smashing
on
the
Apple,
middle class,
SoundCloud,
smashing
Spotify, wherever you get
small
your
business,
podcasts.
getting everybody
Some
living
people
in
may
smart
say
cities.
this is too
They love smart
idealistic,
cities. They
but
want
what
people
other
living in
choice do we have?
buildings,
After the
with a
global
bit of
crisis,
greenery
global
on it. I saw a
opportunity.
picture of
I'm
one the
Robin
other
Pomeroy,
day
and this is the
It's
Great
like a
Reset
building
from the World Economic
with
Forum.
some green balconies.
What kind of
and
world do we want to see?
someone
as
on
we recover,
Facebook was like,
whenever that
"Oh,
will
it's
be,
so
from the
beautiful.
pandemic?"
Oh,
In their
it's
book
so
released this week,
utopic."
Forum founder Klaus Schwab and French economist Thierry Malloret set out their vision
Thierry
for the Great
Malloret.
Reset. At a virtual press conference to launch the book,
Virtual press
Professor
conference.
Schwab said humanity now had to make big choices about the
Big
future.
choices.
We are at a turning point of
Oh
humankind.
my gosh!
I
listen
think
to
we
that
should not
voice.
underestimate the historical
Terrible
significance
pronunciation.
of the situation we are in.
Okay,
We
he
know-
said Z twice, so I have to stop it there. The situation. It's not Z, you stupid egghead. It's the. He needs to learn how to put his tongue between his teeth and pull it backwards. But someone who doesn't give it that much of a fuck about their pronunciation, I don't want that person making decisions about the economies of the world. I mean, what an arrogant thing to come out and say, we need a new world order, we need globalism, we don't want nation states telling us what to do. And it's always utopia. They're always going to replace it with a better, greener, cleaner, safer, happier world. Let's continue hearing it.
The world will look differently when we move out
differently.
from the acute phase of the virus into a new situation. Now, we have three options for the new situation.
Three.
The first one is that all the negative aspects which we have seen during the crisis, and I refer to the egoism which has increased,
Egoism.
I would say, on an international, national, but also, let's face it, on an individual level.
What's he talking about?
That these negative tendencies will even increase, will continue. I would say in this case, I'm very concerned about the life of my grandchildren. The second situation is
about the
some people
grandchildren.
assume, we are just going back.
Yeah, your grandchildren
to
will
the
be
good old
alive,
world
and
which we had,
everybody else's will be
and
dying
everything will
or
be normal
starving or
again
not even there.
in how we are used to normal in the old fashion. This is fiction. It will not happen.
Yeah, they hate the way the world is because they don't control it as effectively as they'd like to.
Is much too strong in order not to leave traces. But then we have the third possibility, to construct a new concept based on the learnings,
new world order.
on the observations.
He's just not using the term New World Order.
To create really a more resilient, a more inclusive, and a more sustainable world.
Sustainable, that's like a buzzword.
Professor Schwab sets out 5 priorities that should be built into the Great Reset.
5 things, 5 priorities. The first one is we have to redefine our social contract to integrate more inclusion. We also have to make sure that we integrate much more in a social contract our responsibility towards the next generation.
Responsibility towards the state. They want people to be responsible to their ideology. It's more state control. It's more government controlling the people. Government controlling business.
We cannot just think of the debt, leave all the solutions and to be paid for by the next generation. So the social contract, and in the social contract, we also have to look at one specific issue. So COVID will
sign the contract, sign on the dotted line, and we will have your soul.
They want your soul, people.
Will create again a gap between the so-called industrialized and emerging countries. The emerging countries, at least some of them, suffering much more compared.
They don't care about suffering. They care about reorganizing the economy the way that they want it organized, which was something that happened a long time ago, which was to get manufacturing out of the West and into the third world, into Asian countries. And that the West was going to be a place for education, IT, technology, a few industries, and then they just wanted to reorganize things the way that they preferred. It's sort of a fake capitalist model. Let's continue.
To some of the countries which have a well-established social safety net. Second, it's the decarbonization of the
countries
economy.
that are socialist
to
or
protect
communist
us against an environmental virus. And here we will publish tomorrow, by the way, a report
they're gonna protect
which shows
us
clearly
with
that
more
there is
vaccinations.
no contradiction between taking care of nature and particularly creating the need to create jobs and to invigorate the economy.
Yeah, they're going to create the jobs that they want to create and employ the people they want employed. They're going to take away diversity. They're going to make everything go through their funnels and go through their systems. They want to be like in the Brave New World, like creating the super system that everybody has to conform to. So it's all about conforming for the sake of saving the environment.
Social contract, green economy.
He keeps going on about this social contract. Social contract. I don't want to sign a fucking social contract. I don't want to sign a contract with you fucking evil monopolist oligarchs. Fuck you.
But number 3, and that's a major part also of the book, because, you know, I published 4 years ago the book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution. All those technologies are very much advanced now by COVID. Everything will be digitalized, which can be digitalized. So how can we use the technologies to address the challenges, but at the same time, make sure that we create the necessary ethical, human-oriented principles around.
Ethical. He really doesn't want to say the. Let's continue.
Those technologies. Then Finally, what is the role of companies in this new post-COVID era? I think we are moving from short-term to long-term, from shareholder capitalism to stakeholder capitalism. The COVID crisis has shown that companies who invest into their vitality instead of prioritizing short-term profits have performed much better. And that's what the stakeholders will expect in the future. And I should add, at last, the need for much stronger global cooperation. COVID has shown us that we are.
Yeah, I want weaker global corporations. What I want are trade deals that favor Western countries, trade deals that favor Australia. I don't want a choking, toxic, monopolistic form of capitalism, which is not capitalism. It's capitalism and communism together. That doesn't work.
Globally interdependent, and I think it's a wake-up call.
I don't want interdependent. I want independent. I want things to actually fucking work properly. I want manufacturing of medical supplies to be happening in Australia and Australia-friendly countries, so that if there is a medical crisis, that we don't have to rely on everything being fucking made in China. And what we need is more local production. We at least need local production of essential items like medical supplies. It shouldn't be just, fucking made in Venezuela or China or whatever. I believe there was one type of medical bag that was only manufactured in Venezuela or something. And then there was some sort of crisis. There was a war or something that just wiped out the supply. It was just like the world supply of, one particular type of medical, I think a drip bag or something like that. So, that shit just can't happen. You need to get onto that.
Future together to address all the consequences and to create a reset in our economic, social, ecological thinking.
No, we don't need a reset. If this guy had his way, he would just basically erase all of the world's constitutions, and let's just get rid of all the constitutions, get rid of all the laws, anything that interferes with our ability to conduct international business the way that we want to do it. And it's like, well, no, it doesn't work that way. We don't live in a one world government. We live in a world that has many nations and many governments for very good reason. It's for our own protection. It's for protection of the citizens within that nation.
On ecological thinking, co-author Thierry Malaret has this to say.
The environment, surprisingly, might be one of the big winners from the pandemic, from the reasons that...
And here we go. This is moving on to the next speaker. I'll just leave it there. That was very creepy. That guy was a very, very creepy dude. And, jeez. Alex Jones might actually be onto something. Anyway, I'm going to leave that for now and come back to it later. So, I'm just gonna stamp that one. I'm going to finish for today. That's it for today. Have an incredible day wherever you are in the world. Australia, the UK, USA, or somewhere else that it does not have 2 or 3 names. Have an incredible Monday. See you later. Bye.